I mean, you don't have to quite be the center of attention like I always am, but you weren't an only child,
No, I was the
oldest, and after 3 years, I had to fight for attention because I was sucking hind tit the whole time.
How many other kids are in your family?
2 boys.
2 boys? So there were only 2 of you?
3 of us altogether.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's 2 other boys other than myself.
Oh, okay.
I was the oldest of 3.
How about you, Adam?
I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm the middle child, so I'm
you're
always
one of them.
pushed back.
Oh, yeah, you got that middle child syndrome
I
going
do.
on. Yeah.
Bad.
Leanne's the baby.
Of
She
how
got
many, Leanne?
spoiled.
6.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Are you the baby, too?
No, I'm the oldest of 6.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
2 Indians, or there's 2 chiefs, I should say, in our tribe.
Is that right?
It's me and the oldest.
You were expecting Adam to run 1 at 18.
Yeah, exactly. I really did. Yeah, I really did.
His mother really wasn't that attractive.
I'm the peacekeeper, the mediator between the oldest and the youngest.
I got you. So, yeah, we're at in Shipshewana, Indiana right now, and we're at the Elite, what do we call this place? Elite Nutrition Training Facility, right?
Training center and therapy barn.
Training Center and Therapy Barn. All right, so I'm going to try to set this up a little bit for us so that we kind of get some framework here, what we're here to talk about. But basically, the most simple way to understand what this place is how many horses have you got here right now?
65.
You got 65 horses here right now. What are we doing at a horse training barn on the Houndsman XP podcast? Why would we be here? I'll tell you why. Because Elite Nutrition also has a lineup of supplements and therapy products for our dogs that I've personally been using for a long time. So I wanted to get this crew in here to talk about how do we go from horses and dairy to dogs to people, and how we come up with all the formulas. So let's just go around the room here, and ladies first. Leanne, introduce yourself.
Well, I am Leanne Osborne, and I've been with Elite Nutrition for 12 years, and the company's been operating for 12 years. I wasn't there at the very beginning, but very close to the beginning. So I've seen all the growth of the company, and am a big part of formulating the products, and do a lot of feedback and testing, response. Adam gives me a lot of feedback from the therapy barn on a lot of the products that we formulate and test. We generally test the product about a year before we are really willing to release that product to the public. So sometimes it gets changed, 3 or 4 times. Adam says, I like what I'm seeing, but we need more of this aspect, of whatever it may be.
Movement,
yes,
or
right.
flexibility, or something like that.
Yeah, or faster response time, or, can we boost our immune system just a little bit more? He pushes me to tweak it even more and more.
Right.
And then we, finish it, and we're happy with what we're seeing for several months. And then, then the boss says, okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
To start talking about this to the public, and then we go public with it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the reason everybody needs to pay attention here is because I've seen the posts on social media where it's like, hey, what are you guys using for Lyme's disease, or and Chip gets on the Facebook and says, hey, we've got a product that'll take care of that. And everybody's sitting back going, what? Serious? What? What's he talking about? How are we going to fix a dog's thyroid, or how are we going to, I thought we had to have drugs and all kinds of stuff like that. So Chip Kosher, the one and only, is on the podcast with us. He's sitting down.
Yeah, so I'm Chip Kosher, formerly with Joy Dog Food. That's all I ever knew. In 2019, Elite became a distributor for our dog food. And now they are Joy's largest distributor. And as I got to know them more about this whole other side of their business, other than just peddling dog food around the country, it caught my interest because they were doing things in this therapy barn and with the dog breeders that I knew that I'm like, holy cow, this stuff, if we can get this to the Houndsman, this is going to be earth-shattering. And quite frankly, it excited me enough that, I mean, for those of you who know, my grandfather founded Joy Dog Food. I didn't change jobs easily, but I wanted to be a part of this ride because I truly believe in the dog food world, there's 1,000 choices you can buy from. Do I think Joy's the best? Absolutely. And I might be a little bit biased.
Right.
But when it comes to what we're doing here, we don't have any competition.
I mean, don't be saying that. There's a whole pharmaceutical world out there that's trying to compete against what you're doing.
Yeah, but they're too nerdy to get on Facebook and let the average guy know what we got. You know what I mean?
They're too scared.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is we can – some of these products that I've seen and used on dogs and even some of the stuff I'm using from our human line. If 5 years ago I didn't think it was even possible. And these guys have made it possible.
Yeah.
And all I am is good at talking about it.
Yeah.
These guys are the brains behind the operation.
And then we got Adam Yoder to my left. What's your job here, Adam?
I'm Adam Yoder, and my job at the Elite Therapy Center is most days I don't know, but I get to do what I love, and that is working on horses and occasional dogs here, and I'm getting more and more into it. But the therapy side of it and making them feel great and making them feel the way they like to feel. And the bottom line of this whole company and what I stand for and what I do or what we do is 90% of this stuff is all about balance. If you get the blood flow and the balance where it needs to be on a lot of these animals, there's a lot of self-healing involved. And we're fortunate enough to have Leanne with us as a formulator to get me what I need to fix these animals. When we started this 7 years ago, I think, when I came on board, I'd be like, Leanne, I want to do this to the horse. I want to do this, and I want to be able to do this. And
give me a specific, just so we know.
The main thing I had when I started in with them was ulcer issues, gut problems. And in the Amish world was primarily my work, but it needed quick results. Like if we made products or we wanted to fix a horse, we wanted to see results yesterday if we started today, you know. They don't bring horses to me till they need help. So we don't like results. So Leanne would formulate stuff that we needed, and like she said, I tweaked and we tweaked and she tweaked, and I said we need a little faster here and we need a little more there and we need to be able to make this work. And she picked the stuff up and reformulate and tweak here and there till we got where we needed. So we were very happy with that lines, and we moved more into organ health, and that's where we got into kidneys, liver, and thyroid and toxin stuff, and we just tested and played with it till we found the results that we were looking for.
So talk to me a little bit about what kind of horses. This isn't like your average horse barn that you got some old plugs out here. I mean, these are high-performance type horses.
We work on a lot of just working buggy horses, but we also do primarily our work is with harness racing horses and barrel horses, and we do a lot of rodeo horses and stuff, but most high performance working horses is what we work in. So we work with horses under high stress situations and injury prone.
Well, Chip, you're the one that kind of saw the bridge here, to the hound world, and why. What are you seeing from? Because we're at the therapy barn. There aren't any dogs here. Why would I come up here, to do a podcast and look at horses? And then what's our translation or what's our bridge to dog products here? And
one big thing is, whether you're a human, a horse, or a dog, nutrition is nutrition. There's certain things that have to be tweaked as far as balances between species. But if we can be successful in a horse world, that product can be formulated to affect a dog as well. when EPM is a product that, or a disease that's common amongst horse folks. It's also called Possum's disease, but that organism is very similar to that of Lyme disease. And whenever I found out we were treating EPM and I found out how quickly it was working, I'm like, can we do that on Lyme? And lo and behold, we can. Lyme, Ehrlichia. Thyroid. We came out with a new horse product last year treating horses' thyroids. And I grew up with horses, and one of my horses, once it was already a yard ornament, had developed Cushing's disease. That's about the only thing I was familiar with as far as thyroids and horses. And whenever they came out with that thyroid product, I said, will that cure Cushing's disease? And anybody that knows what Cushing's disease is, I mean, you're pretty much, that's all you have left is a yard ornament, at least what my thought. Mm-hmm. And whenever they told me that they're reversing Cushing's disease, I'm like, that you got something here. And then I've once or twice heard a houndsman on Facebook talk about thyroid dogs, and I'm like, well, maybe we'll have something here. Now the truth is going to be out there, though. Do they really have a thyroid dog, or why they use it in the first place? Because if we fix their thyroid, they won't have any more excuses if their dog doesn't do well.
Yeah.
And then the wound care for some of my bear dog guys. I have never seen a topical spray for wound care heal from the inside out as well as that recover. And then for the dogs that are running through the bean fields, that get their eyes all torn up, that already it works like a charm.
I want to go through the products here in a few minutes and talk about, because we're going to lay it out, because some of this stuff is a little bit it's a little bit intimidating when you start talking about switching from what you've always done. Nobody likes change, but then when we get multiple products together and how they all work together. But I really want to ask Leanne, what is the basis of this stuff? Do we need to have prescriptions and vets and all this stuff to get these products now?
So my background is I started in people nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had people that are in people nutrition look at our equine labels and say, that looks like human nutrition, those ingredients.
Okay.
And so when I formulate, I always kind of start with the people side in mind. Okay, if there was a person standing in front of me with this problem that this horse has, what herbs do I want to pull from my arsenal that I know of to put together? So I always start with that in mind. So a lot of our ingredients are pharmaceutical grade ingredients already.
Okay.
So and when I say pharmaceutical, I mean like nutraceutical, like the herbs and things. That's what, instead of pharmaceutical, they call that nutraceutical. So they are very high quality, high end, strength ingredients to start with.
Okay.
So no, you do not need a prescription, but they are very high quality ingredients.
Mm-hmm. So when you said herbs, let's just break it down. I mean, this is not medicine as the 21st century person looks at as medicine. It's not a penicillin. It's not a laboratory antibiotic. What is this stuff?
It's a blend of herbs and minerals and probiotics, and just depending on what product you're looking at. But our main goal is to balance the system. So like say if your thyroid's out of balance, our goal is to get it into balance, and you may not have to have that dog on that thyroid product forever, the rest of its life. So we have blended them together to work together to get the most benefit out of them. So there may be herbs, there may be minerals, there may be probiotics. It's a variety of ingredients.
So,
and a lot of our products are to solve a specific situation, not long-term maintenance. We do have some long-term maintenance products, but a lot of our products are, I have this problem, how do I heal it? The same way we would go do if we went to an orthopedic or to our doctor for a head cold or whatever. We're treating a symptom until we're over that symptom. So it's not long-term issues, which whenever you look at all of our products, you're like, holy cow, that's complicated. But whenever you break it down to solving specific issues, it's not nearly as complicated. Although on the human side, every time Leanne comes out with a new product, she talks about middle-aged, overweight people, and my pill case keeps getting bigger and
bigger.
bigger.
Is your picture on something here?
No, no. But my little pill box, I asked for Christmas this year with my mom and dad because they asked me what to get, and I don't know if I really want it, I buy it, right? So I told them I need a
pill organizer.
I need a pill. I have one now, but I need one where it has morning and night now because I'm running out of space because Leanne keeps looking at me when she comes out with new products.
Well, the thing that I'm trying to get down to here is I think our culture is so conditioned to go to the doctor, get put on a medication, go to the vet, get your dog put on a medication.
Right. I just had this happen Friday. I was at a horse sale, and a lady came up and said, "Do you have anything for Cushing's?" Since you were just talking about Cushing's. And I showed him our Thyrite, which is the product that, he was talking about. And she said, "Well, how does that compare to this?" And she shows me her phone, and it's a drug that they have the horse on. And I said, "I'm not familiar with any drugs. I only know how our products work." So I couldn't tell you what that drug's name was even today, and I couldn't tell you how it was supposed to work for the horse because I'm not familiar with the drug side of things. I just am familiar with, the natural world.
Right.
The one nice thing about this, though, is we don't have to take another thing to make up for the side effects of the first thing.
Yes.
Like, you take it to solve the problem, you don't have to take 5 other things to deal with what that one that was fixing the problem caused.
Right. Yes, that is true.
Well, I think I'm trying to get past the skepticism. I'm trying to get
Right.
past the, this is snake oil type remedy, miracle drug. I can just see Chip on an infomercial at 2:00 in the morning, saying take Rebalance and solve all your problems in all your life and become more wealthy. It'd be like a cross between a TV evangelist and trying to sell me an air fryer. And
Chip would do a really good job at that.
yeah. So, I want to kind of, I'd like to ask some pretty hard questions about, natural remedies and find out the differences. Why shouldn't I put my dog, let's just start there. Why shouldn't I, automatically just go to the vet and put him on the same synthetic antibiotics of the past? I mean, it's already out there. Why shouldn't I just follow that route?
The biggest thing is, like Chip already touched on a little bit, the side effects, the long-term health of the animal. Antibiotics, of course, go in and kill all the good and the bad bacteria. Mm-hmm. So then you've got to come back in and boost your immune system up, after that. So, and I'm not anti-drugs. I'm not anti-doctor or vet.
You guys have vets. You have vets come here, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to use antibiotic to get them. Explain that again, Adam, because we talked about it out in the barn.
One thing about the natural version of it is it takes a little longer to kick in and get where we need to be. Mm-hmm. So if we have life-threatening situations where we have to have immediate results and immediate get back, we might have to put them on certain forms of antibiotics for 24 to 48 hours till our stuff is kicked in. The natural side of it and the natural remedies get into their bloodstream and into their bodies and help break down
so the way you're using an antibiotic is very unorthodox, because when you put a dog on an antibiotic, they've got to be on it for this many days to run its course, and so they don't build up the resistance. What you're doing is like, we're going to go in there and smack it with a baseball bat right now until this product can kick in, and then you don't care about the fallout after the antibiotic because you're already coming in with your product and replacing that naturally.
Exactly right. And then we build up their immune system and help fight off their infections, etc. with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Leanne, so getting back to what happens with an antibiotic? You started to go down that road, it kills the good and the bad. So what is like the natural, cycle for using antibiotics from your experience? I know you're not a vet.
Well, generally, you'll go in and you kill the good and the bad. So then once you've killed the good, that opens up the door for dogs, especially yeast, to come in and, proliferate and take over that whole digestive system. And that's where, the yeast lives. So that paw licking, those ear infections, things like that. A lot of times they start with a yeast overgrowth in the body. So sometimes antibiotic will set the stage for yeast to come in and, have that overgrowth.
But I treat ear infections with amoxicillin,
Yes,
and I kill the yeast, and then I'm good.
for a while.
Okay.
And then it's generally a cycle. It'll come back, usually.
Because you break down the immune system that it
Yeah.
can't fight off on its own.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking for.
yeah.
Every time we treat a dog with an antibiotic, then we are compromising their immune system at that point. And instead of their natural immune system taking over and fighting off things that we should never need an antibiotic with to begin with, we put them on the antibiotic, and then they're good. And then we put them on an antibiotic, and they're good, and they get sick again. So it's just like a cycle, right?
Yep. Generally, yes.
So, okay, let's get down into some of this stuff here because...
Well, that exact same point that you were mixing, the treatment that we have for the Lyme's disease.
Okay.
The rebalance is essentially our antibiotic. It uses echinacea. Leanne can pronounce it for you. I don't have my reading glasses on and can't read the darn thing. The labels are too small. But that's what's going to knock. That'd be like your doxycycline that knocks it out.
Yep.
But what we found is we need to use that in combination with the canine guard, which is a detox, to flush all those toxins out of the system.
You just keep wanting to get ahead of me.
But I'm explaining how all those three things work. And then we use the Happy Dog Plus because that builds the immune system as they're going through it. So with those three products, we're able to kill it, we're able to get it out of the system and build the immune system at the same time. And that's why whenever you're going through that treatment, you can continue to hunt your dogs as well because you don't have those side effects of losing scent or just the dog being down because you're treating with, we're also building up the immune system and we're flushing all that toxin out of the body at the same time.
Yep. And I want to take a deep dive into the Lyme's Ehrlichia. And we're going to talk about the Thyroid, which is a thyroid medication. But if I was going to get a dog right now, okay, so I get this dog as a puppy, and I'm wanting to start a supplement schedule here where I never have to. I don't ever want to have to put the dog on antibiotics ever. Do you have a product on the table right here that is that product that I need to start my dog on from a young age to avoid the possibilities? We're not saying it can totally eliminate it, but there's a good chance I'll never have to put them on and get them in that vicious cycle.
Yes, our Essential Dog is our foundational product from, weaning to, aged dogs. So that's your vitamins, your minerals. So they really do need that extra mineral for that bone growth as they're growing to make sure that, they're growing well. And I'm not, there's lots of other good dog foods out on the market besides Joy, and we have customers that use a lot of different ones. But
well, that's what I was getting ready to say. If I'm feeding a balanced diet, isn't that enough? Why would I need to put Essential Dog on something?
my biggest thing is with the probiotics in there, it's going to help with their absorption. There's digestive enzymes going to help with their absorption of that feed. So they might not need to feed as much. So that's going to save them right there. But also, and Chip and I have had many conversations about this, but in our horse feed that we make is a non-GMO horse feed. There isn't that other than organic that I know of dog foods that are non-GMO. Now, I believe Joy does a really good job with their formulas as well as they can, but that's going to kind of keep their immune system, help them break down those, potentially genetically modified, grains and things that are in the food. So it's an overall just, good enhancement to the
why
feed.
doesn't the dog food company just get that product and start adding it to the formula?
Well, part of the problem is dog food companies are, for the most part, and Joy is one that is not, and there's many others. Well, I don't know about many, but there's a handful of other companies that are still following the science behind their dog food. Mm-hmm. My personal opinion, the vast majority of your pet food companies are formulating their dog food by their marketing departments and not their nutritionist departments anymore, because we have a pet population that doesn't care what they pay for dog food anymore. And so we are showing them peas and carrots and this, that, and the other thing. Classic point, there's a lot of dog foods out there that will say they have probiotics in their dog food. Mm-hmm. Well, at the extrusion process where dog food, the way all dog food is made, the probiotics cannot survive those temperatures or those pressures of the extrusion process. And then people will say, well, I put it on after the extrusion process. Well, you're taking a live bacteria and putting it onto a product that it is supposed to help digest. So unless that product is kept in climate control from the time of the plant all the way to your house, those probiotics would activate and you'd open up a bag of mush. So there's no bag of dog food on the market, I promise you, that it's under climate control from the manufacturing point. It's not getting shipped down the road in a reefer truck. Those probiotics would activate. So that's how Leanne and I actually met. She overheard me telling people, don't waste your money on dog food that has probiotics in it, because it's a bunch of foo-foo dust that doesn't do anything for you. And being as they made a good probiotic, she kind of liked that comment.
Yeah. So you're saying that dog foods that advertise probiotics is just writing on the bag. That's all it is. They're
putting them in there, but they're dead.
But they're
killed
dead
at the extrusion process.
And so you can add the essential dog to the dog food and supplement with the essential dog and get that probiotic back in there. What does a probiotic do?
The probiotic?
Yeah, what does it do? We hear the word. I mean, we've all heard it, but
they say about 80% of your immune system is in your gut.
Okay.
Your gut bacteria.
Is this apply to dogs too?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that whole, it's kind of like a whole, I liken it to a garden with soil. So there's, if you're familiar with soil, there's soil bacteria in the soil. There's bacteria in our gut. So we not only use the probiotics, so that probiotics are the bacteria. So you have literally billions and billions of probiotic in your gut already. So several different strands. And so not only do we put those probiotics in, but we add the prebiotics as well. So I liken prebiotics to the same soil picture as more of a fertilizer. Mm-hmm. So the prebiotics, its only job, it's a non-digestible fiber. Its only job is to feed the bacteria that's already present in the body.
No kidding.
So it's feeding the good bacteria. So we're putting the good bacteria in, and then we're fertilizing what's already in there too.
No kidding. That's what probiotic is.
So there is a difference. And there's several different kinds of prebiotic. As a company, we use 2 different kinds. Mm-hmm. Yes. So the probiotics are the live bacteria. So they boost your immune system. They help with digestion. They help break down the food, that you eat and that the dogs are eating. They have a pretty big job. And there's even scientific research as to, gut health and mood as well. So we see it in the horses. If their gut is happy, they're generally calm. A lot of the guys have left for the day here at the therapy barn, but you walk through this barn, those horses are calm. Mm-hmm. They're not pawing, they're not walking the stalls, and they don't even live here. But if their gut is happy, they're generally a happy, animal.
And on the dog food side of it, and feeding a balanced diet and why feed Essential Dog with it. You can have the best dog food in the world and the best label on the dog food. If the dog isn't absorbing everything he's eating, he's not absorbing the nutrients in him. So he's out in the woods, he's hunting, he eats something or picks up a bite or chews on something that will kill the bacteria in his gut or will shut his gut down for just a short period of time even. The Essential Dog will help snap them back out of that and get that probiotics working a lot faster and get that gut acid to break down that feed a lot faster and just keep that immune system up a lot higher.
One of the things that you said that I think is really important is the probiotic enables whatever dog food I'm feeding to be digested or absorbed into, so it's beneficial, right?
Yes.
How many dog foods are out there that you know, just a hypothetical question, probably can't be answered, but I mean, you're just filling holes is all you're doing. You're just filling a gut, and it's coming right out the other end. There's very low absorption, and this product helps get the most out of every scoop of dog food.
The other thing that is often overlooked too is your vitamin and mineral balance. Oftentimes, that is just as important as your protein and fat. Everybody talks about protein and fat, but if you don't have the right mineral balance, the dog's going to have issues. Again, coming back to we're manufacturing for pet owners, you can feed most pet owners with their overweight Labrador sitting on their couch anything, and that dog's going to maintain. But when you're talking about an athlete, you know, that actually has a job, those vitamins and mineral balance for repair and muscle tissue, for whelping, whatever the issues are, they're more important. Most companies now put whatever they're required to by law. They don't pay attention to that actual balance. And in many cases, even if you're feeding Joy or ProPlan or some of the other brands out there that I think are doing a good job at formulate and feed, how many times have I heard a guy say, well, whenever my bitch is getting ready to whelp or whenever she's pregnant, I'm throwing raw meat at her. You're getting those calories, but you're throwing off that whole vitamin and mineral balance because you're not getting the calcium and the phosphorus and the magnesium out of feeding raw meat. A product like Essential Dog is going to help balance that out so you can get those inexpensive calories that you're getting from deer or chicken or wherever it might be, but you're still able to provide them with a well-balanced diet instead of just throwing that female or your hunting dog all off the whack with their vitamin and mineral balance.
Hey, do you want to know a little tip for shopping? I'm going to give you one right now. I'm going to tell you how you can avoid all of the crowds, all of the big box store, surfing the internet for a bunch of junk that nobody needs or wants. Go to houndsmanxp.hollercommerce.com. It's an online mega store for hunters, fishermen, campers, hikers. I don't care what they're doing. It's right there. They've got all the brands that we use all of the time, like Garmin, Vortex Optics, Lacrosse boots, Cajun lights. Somebody's looking for a new Garmin watch? We've got that. Go to houndsmanxp.hollercommerce.com. And for a limited time, we've got a discount code for you. Enter HXP10, all capital letters, HXP10 at checkout, and get 10% off of hundreds of premium brands. Stock up on all your outdoor needs at houndsmanxp.hollercommerce.com. You know what app I use on my phone more than any other app besides the podcast app to listen to this here podcast? I use onX. onX Maps is the most comprehensive mapping system for hunters on the market today. I use it all the time. When I was in New Mexico, I was looking at 40,000 acres of ranch that I needed to learn. I flip open onX and just start studying the map. When I'm riding trails, I put the tracking app on. It helps me get around in strange country. I could mark water sources, food sources, bear sign, just all kinds of options within onX. You need to check out onX Maps by going to houndsmanxp.com. Click on the link on our sponsor page. You'll go right to onX Maps, and when you check out, enter the code HXP20 and you will get 20% off of your order. Know where you stand with OnX. Well, okay, so you brought up something there. If I'm feeding the essential dog, can't I go ahead and supplement with the raw meat? Because
Absolutely, because it's going to balance those vitamins, minerals out.
Dog food is getting crazy priced. I mean, price points on good quality dog food it's getting tough. The prices are high. And so I think you're going to see houndsmen are utilitarian type people, very pragmatic. So they're going to look for ways to reduce that feed bill and still have the functionality of their dog, the performance in their dog. So in order to maintain that vitamin mineral balance, we can simply use the essential dog and not have anything out of whack at that point. Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying go away from kibble altogether.
Right.
But if you do that, I much prefer you to use a product like Essential Dog versus just raw meat and your kibble, because you're increasing your calories without increasing your vitamin mineral content. Mm-hmm. And those need to be balanced. Otherwise, that dog's not going to be able to function at optimum levels.
Right.
And the Essential Dog will help you balance that out.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's always about performance, and
Except for in the case of your dogs.
I'm not even going to tie. I'm not even going to. I'm at a loss for words.
Let me just tie in on that. So several years ago, and this was several years ago, when dog food pricing wasn't where it is now, at one of our dog breeding events, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, at the first of the year, and he's a nerd like me, so he kept track of these figures, but he said at the first of the year, he switched his dog food to a lesser quality dog food. And he said using Essential Dog with that lesser quality, and it's still a good dog food. I don't remember what the brands were, but anyway, he said he saved $5,000 that year in dog food cost, and he has about 40 females.
Well, I think
so that. He said he felt like it was all Essential Dog was able to help him make that transition because they were still getting good nutrition value because of the supplementation.
Well, that brings up a great question. We're looking at something additional than I need to spend my money on to accomplish something that we got to figure out a way. How much is that jar right there?
This costs $30, and it
How
will
much?
$35.
$35.
Treats 300 pounds of dog food.
So
and we do have a 30-pound pail if you're really economic driven.
But okay, so $35 treats 300 pounds of dog food. Mm-hmm. So what does that come out to? 15 cents a pound? Is that 15 cents a pound?
I think it's like 12.
12 cents a pound, and so of feed.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at that, you're
do the math, Chip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 11 cents a pound, so it's going to cost you $5.83 on a 50-pound bag of dog food.
All right. And we're all about penny pinching. We know, we've seen the whole Facebook dog food question, and it always goes back to.
I've never seen that one. Does that come up from time to time?
Yeah. What can I feed my dog to keep him alive? But it really is no joke when you're talking about prices, and now we're looking at $5 more per 50 pound. I mean, that's a tough sell that you're trying to make here for people.
But at the same time, if it allows them to feed a less expensive dog food and still have a balanced diet.
But I don't think we want to go there. I don't think we want to feed.
I prefer them just by joy in the first place, yeah. But they're not. The reality is not everybody's going to do that.
No, feed 30% less feed.
Yeah.
And save your money.
And the other thing is.
Say that again, Adam.
feed 30% less feed and get same or more value out of your feeding
How?
program.
How do they do that? Because this is doing that job. It's breaking that food down so they can get everything out of it.
They absorb everything out of it. You get the same value and the same absorption, the same minerals, and a lot less manure out of the other end.
Are you seeing that in the horses as well?
A lot.
It will make a good feed or a bad feed good and a good feed a lot
but I
better.
don't think we want to try to create. Let's just say that it'll make that good feed
Better.
go farther,
Yeah, exactly.
Go farther.
Yes.
and you'll get better value for your dollar when if you buy a high quality feed and you put Essential Dog on it, then it's going to go farther, and that it's going to make
Correct.
your dollar last longer. You know, I feel like it's a political year.
Yeah.
So how can we stretch the family dollar?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, percentage less feed and a lot healthier dog at the end of the day.
Allergies. I mean, I've run into, I came from the dog food side. Whenever I first met the guys from Elite, I liked a lot of these products. This one isn't one that excited me because I had, and what I thought, I had that in my dog food other than the probiotics.
Because you're Joy Dog Food.
Because I'm a dog food guy.
Third generation Joy Dog Food.
And the amount of times that I've seen those allergies, people say they got allergies and their dogs are licking the paws and they're breaking out with hot spots and this, that, and the other thing. A lot of times it was just a absorption issue and a vitamin and mineral balance issue, and that product solved those problems.
Essential Dog solve
Essential
those
Dog.
problems.
Yeah, we have people that tell us that they have medication in their kennels that's expired. And the only thing they have added is Essential Dog to their whole kennel. So, yeah, those probiotics and prebiotics, digestive enzymes, vitamins, minerals.
For those people that have been switching to ingredients on dog foods for 10 years and still haven't solved the problem, 9 times out of 10, I try and feed whatever dog food you want to and use the Essential Dog. They no longer have allergies.
Well, and it's funny because, you just walk through the horse barn. Did it smell like a horse barn to you?
No.
And that's what we hear on the kennel side, too, because there's a similar product in our horse line that's, and that has the probiotics and the minerals and stuff. And that's what we hear is the kennels don't smell like kennels when they use Essential Dog.
What about the chicken barns? Does it work for them too?
Didn't
Are
get
you
there
telling
yet.
me? Are you telling me you can send a dog turd with Essential Dog? You can deodorize a dog turd, Leanne? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, somewhat, yes.
What makes a
because
dog turd stink?
that food is being broke down properly and being absorbed properly, so you don't have a lot of the odor is coming from food that's not digesting properly, and it's sitting in the gut for longer than it should.
On the horse side of it, most horse feeds are 65% or less absorbable, and the rest goes out the back door. That's what stinks. With our product in the horse feed, it's 98 to 99% absorbable. It's less than 1% waste. So that's your odor and your waste,
And less cleanup.
and a lot less cleanup.
Wow.
Well, when you walking through that barn too, how much corn and oats did you see in the manure?
We walked by the manure pile and I glanced at it, but I didn't get down and dig in it.
Because that essential product helps them to actually break down that oats and corn that normally you see in the horse manure.
I hadn't even planned on spending this much time on Essential Dog,
Yeah, I know.
but now that we're on it,
Now you know why I'm excited.
Essential Dog is the essential part of Elite Nutrition. It is our foundation product,
Wow.
and it's because of that. Save you money, and if you feed the Essential Dog, just take all the rest of the stuff off the table.
Okay, so we'll take Essential Dog off the table because Chris Powell didn't know about it, and now I've got health problems. I want to get into the rebalance. This is what you sent me. You sent me Rebalance, Canine Guard, and Happy Dog Plus.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the Rebalance, we'll talk about, you talked about this is your antibiotic.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
use that obviously for the Lyme's or Ehrlichia, but ear infections, anything that you would normally use an antibiotic for, especially now since the
But
rules have
all
changed.
antibiotics aren't the same. You know, you've got amoxicillin, you've got Dex, Dex is a steroid.
All antibiotics are not the same because you've developed resistance over the years. This is a product that is a natural product, so there's not the bacteria resistance.
I want to talk to the person that's
fine.
You're just regurgitating.
I'm just a talking head.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's all these different strands, if you will,
Okay.
of antibiotics because of, you treat a virus one way or you treat a viral or a bacterial issue another way. But in all, reality, then at some point you do build up a resistance to it. Then you need to change that and create something different that will work. So that's why there's so many different names, and that's why they're constantly coming out with new, basic antibiotics on the market, because they've got to keep changing it because the virus keeps changing, the bacteria keeps changing. So
the virus is adapting to
the antibiotics.
The antibiotic to overcome the effects of the antibiotic.
Right.
And so when that happens, when we can no longer combat, say it's an ear infection, we can no longer use amoxicillin. Now we're using cephalexamoxicillin,
Right.
10 years from now.
The easiest way I understood it whenever I first was taught it, it's a physical kill versus a chemical kill. You cannot a fly does not develop immunity to a fly swatter. It's going to get them every time you hit it. Mm-hmm. But there's many other things as far as drugs or insecticides or whatever that fly and generations will develop immunity to. But you're never going to develop immunity to the fly swatter. And that's essentially what you have whenever you're using the natural products.
And we can go after bacterial infection, and we can go after viral infection because it's
With the same product.
With the same product because it's fighting off from the inside.
To give you an idea, I was working at a pet show a couple weeks ago, and my booth was next to a very well-known pet veterinarian, small animal veterinarian from the Pittsburgh market, and he's actually my cousin's fiance works out of his practice. She's finishing up at Penn Vet and going to go work for his practice. So we got talking about the products, and he looked at the ingredient label on the Rebalance, and he said, somebody knows what they're talking about. And I'm like, well, like you said, I just regurgitate the facts and tell you whether it works or not. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, that active ingredient that you're using, 30 years ago at the National Aviary, they had some kind of idge in there that every antibiotic they threw at those birds, they were resistant to. Mm-hmm. That aviary in Pittsburgh's been on that product now for 30 years because it was the only thing that those bacteria did
and
not
since
have
it's a natural thing that already exists in the world, then you're using the animal's immune system to combat that.
Exactly right.
Instead of introducing a foreign substance to the system,
Correct.
hoping that it...
Right, to go in and kill all the good and the bad bacteria.
Yeah, right.
We're making that animal have its own fly swatter.
All right. You still haven't got me yet. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for a person who hasn't been with the product and seen the results. How have you tested the results? How do you know that works?
Well, the limes world, so when earlier, Chris, we were in the warehouse and I was kind of explaining how a lot of our people products have come from our horse products. Like I made a horse product and then we had, horse customers saying, can I take that product? Because they wanted the results that their horse was getting for themselves. Mm-hmm. And I would say, it needs to be tweaked a little bit for people. And then I'd go back and then, so that a lot of our products, they correlate between people, dogs, and horses. So in the limes world, our first experience with limes was actually in the people line. So then I was like, well, if it's working in people, let's start testing it in dogs. Mm-hmm. And so I knew what products we had for dogs that correlated to those people products that they were taking. So then we started working in the dog world. Mm-hmm. And, okay, so how long have they been on it? What kind of results are they getting? How is the dog acting? So in the dog world, we don't have a therapy facility like we do for the horses as of yet. But like Chip said, we knew how it was working for EPM as well. So and it's very similar. They're both a spirochete, like parasite, basically, like EPM and the
Is that like a
limes.
spirochete, parakeet,
Not be confused with cockatoo.
No,
cockatoos?
it's a single cell
African grays.
organism.
I
But
totally
it's
derailed
basically
that.
like a parasite
Okay.
that is causing the limes. So it's a very similar family to the EPM. So we're like, okay, well, that works for EPM and it works for limes in people. Let's start testing it in limes in dogs. So then we do a lot of events, a lot of, different interaction with people.
Did you take known limes cases in dogs and run this product all the way out? I mean, are you willing to say that this right here will treat Lyme's disease and eliminate it from your dog?
We've seen enough positive results with it, yes.
Okay, and you've taken blood from dogs, you've tested it,
And then
put
done
'em-
the snap test, and they were negative.
Okay,
But
let me
like-
finish. And then you've put them on the treatment and come back until they tested negative, right? That's what you're saying. You've done that.
Yes.
And
How many-
I've had
what's your-
some cases where they've come back 3 months after the original test, and they were still negative.
What's your study baseline? How many cases have you done that with so far?
From my experience, the ones that I know out there around
I'm talking about stuff you got data on at Elite Nutrition.
Well, on the horse end, we have a lot more data because of our therapy barn. In the dog world, what I was getting at was a lot of it is tried in individual homes.
Okay.
So we do a lot of feedback and people that you personally know, things like that. So we may not have the specific, like January 2nd, this was the condition of the dog, and I mean we keep a lot better records on the therapy horse end of things than because we don't have that therapy dog kennel. So so a lot of it is people that you personally know, or different situations like that.
You want me to show you how to shut the ringer off on that phone, whoever's got it? I guess what I'm saying is,
I have 20 guys that got the product. We were Lyme positive before we did the test after 90 days, and they were negative. 20 guys on Lyme that
but
got back to
20.
me.
I
Now,
mean, we're talking.
there's thousands of dogs out there. I realize.
I know.
that,
There's thousands of dogs out there, and you're coming out and saying I can cure Lyme's disease with herbs and minerals and stuff like that. And don't you think that we need to have a baseline and some data to back up those claims? I mean, don't.
The biggest thing is that the organism doesn't change from one dog to another. So if it's working on 20, then I have full confidence that it will work on 40 and 60 and 80.
Okay.
So.
And with the EPM that you've already seen, and how many horses?
Oh, that's
Hundreds and thousands of them.
Yeah.
This last year, we sold over 3,000 bottles of Rebalance. And we've seen, I'm not saying we have that much data, but that's how much that we move and helped already over the years. But as far as data that we did blood work and pulled back and worked on, hundreds and hundreds. We did 100 horses before, pretty close to 100 horses before we made it public. Because this is a product that, this is a symptom that's very broad range and is hard to fix and it's like when I told Leanne when we were making this that we have to make really, really sure this is what's going to hit it before we bring it on the market, and we got to make sure it gets there. But all the testing we did on all the parasites and the parasite-related issues and inflammation and infection, it kills them all. Okay, the Rebalance kills them all.
And that's here at the therapy barn. We can do a blood panel every 7 to 10 days,
Right.
even more, because we have readily accessible. Without us having a dog therapy, we can do a test now, 30 days, whatever.
The relationship between dog products and horse products, it's not that far apart, right?
No. Actually, the Rebalance canine and the Rebalance, equine is the exact same product. Just two different size bottles labeled for dogs.
That's why we feel comfortable letting it loose in the dog world, because we knew what it would do.
And the
it's
diseases
working
are
what
the
it's-
same.
Yes.
Right.
Lyme disease in a horse is the same as Lyme disease in a dog or in a human. It's not that.
A tick's a tick, Lyme's disease is
Exactly
Lyme's
right.
disease.
I'm not getting a different kind of Lyme disease than the dog
Right.
is.
Well, and the EPM, they're even saying there's some kind of crossover. I mean, because the possums are eating the ticks, so there's so many different strands of EPM.
What'd you
and-
say? The possums are eating the ticks? We'll debunk that one here in a minute.
Yeah, I don't want to see any more posts about saving possums. That's for sure.
That's an inside joke,
Okay.
Leanne, on possums. We've already,
But I'm just saying
yeah.
that they're.
She's
they're
not
seeing-
She's not saying to save the possums. 'Cause
I
they're
know,
eating the ticks.
I know. It was just funny.
No, I wasn't saying
All
that.
right.
I'm just saying physically, they're seeing very similar correlation between the two.
All right, so we've got the rebalance. That's going to be needed for Lymes and Ehrlichia, right? And then what are these other two products, the Canine Guard and the Happy Dog Plus? What are we doing here?
So the Canine Guard is our detox. That's what's going to flush those toxins and that nasty stuff out of their system as they're going through the rebalance.
So
Go ahead.
The rebalance is killing.
Right.
So as that
That's our fly swatter.
Yes. As that fly is dying in their system, it starts to release toxins.
Okay.
So it's basically like
Shedding.
Yes, it is. It's shedding. It's dying. When it dies, it releases toxins. So this is the product to go in and help the body.
Canine Guard.
Yes, Canine
Okay.
Guard.
That's the one that's going to stop it from flaring back up. This, like Doxy, it's going to kill it, but you can also flare it back up. This is what's going to flush it out of the system to
Okay.
stop it from flaring. And then the Happy Dog Plus builds the immunity as they go through it. So that way you're building up the dog's immune system. You can still hunt while you're going through the treatment. I mean,
Say that
does-
again. Say Happy Dog Plus is doing what?
It's going to build up the immune system as you're going through that process.
All right, so let me understand. My dog's got Lyme's disease. We've treated it with rebalance. We've killed only the bad, right?
Yes.
Because it's not killing the good.
Right.
We're going to flush it out with Canine Guard. And the whole time, my dog's system is compromised because it's got Lyme's disease, correct?
Right.
And that's why you need the Happy Dog to make sure that you bring him back online so that he's got a healthy immune system.
Right.
Because the tick-borne disease compromised his system.
Right.
And we're going to need that to get him strong again.
Like
This
we're
is a
battling an
rehab.
ear infection or
Right.
something like that, all you need is this. But
Okay.
tick-borne diseases are tough. We found that combination of those three is what gets the job done most efficiently in tick-borne diseases. Like I said, wounds or ear infections, typical things, all you're going to need is the rebalance. But tick-borne diseases do linger, and I mean anybody that's been on Doxy knows that doesn't always get rid of it indefinitely.
Right.
That
Right.
combination is what allows us to get rid of
Okay.
it.
All right. And so if I was going to treat my dog completely through, what do you think the estimated cost is to treat a case of Lyme's in a dog?
Depending on the weight of your dog, you're going to be looking at between $110 and $170.
For the full treatment,
For the full-
using this.
Yeah.
And it'll be full treated, killed, flushed, and have a healthy immune system at the end of the day. That is the key importance of any of those treatments, is having that immune system at its best and top level when the treatment's done.
I'm trying to remember. It seems like I had bought a full 30-day supply of Doxy last year for a dog that had, I think it was, what was it, 120 bucks for $120 probably for the bottle of Doxy.
Yeah.
And then once I get done administering the Doxy, I couldn't hunt the dog for 30 days. Plus the fact that it still had a compromised immune system at the end. Whereas when I do this,
Well, now guys are using, I forget the name of the shot, but a lot of the guys are using that shot, and that shot's more expensive than the Doxy is.
so what I'm getting with this is I'm getting all of it and ending up with a healthy immune system when I'm done.
Well, and back to your question, too, why would somebody try it or trust us? You've been trying Doxy for a decade now, and it ain't doing the job. It's worth spending $170 to see if something else will work.
Yeah, because I one thing that has been good about the recent pandemic baloney that we've gone through, whatever you want to call it, is I think it's raised a lot of awareness in our community about alternative medicine and the values and, the damages of pharmaceutical grade, or not pharmaceutical grade, but, our traditional medications and stuff that we're pumping in ourselves.
And the motives for the products being released in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think there's anybody that can disagree that when you can take something that already exists in the environment and treat stuff that's in the environment and you come out with a better result at the end, I'm using the Canine Guard and the Happy Dog Plus, and I also use diatomaceous earth. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I mix this up and how easy it's been for me. We talked about using this product right here, and you said people were using the concrete mixers.
Get out your reading glasses because that has diatomaceous earth in it.
Huh?
The Canine Guard has diatomaceous earth in it, so you don't need to spend that money anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so Canine Guard's got diatomaceous earth. I give it a little extra dose and not much.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'll take 1 scoop per 10 pounds of feed, right?
Yes.
Dry. Same with Happy Dog Plus. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a whole video about this. But I've got my 5-gallon buckets with the closable lids on them can hold 20 pounds of feed.
Mm-hmm. Drywall mutter does a really good job at mixing it too if you don't want to do it by hand.
Yeah, you can mix it, but I'll put 5 pounds of feed in the bucket, put in half a scoop. 5 pounds of feed, half a scoop, until I get the bucket filled up. Then I just roll the bucket around. Just roll it around, coat it all. Now I've got all my feed treated for 20 pounds, and I've got 5 buckets like that. So how many buckets is that? I can do 100 pounds. 100 pounds of feed. It is
important to keep that bucket in your climate control because you're putting the probiotics that are in the Happy Dog Plus in.
Yes. So what is that temperature that we need to keep it at?
Well, you want to keep it under, 80 degrees.
Under 80.
Yeah, generally.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this time of year, you're golden. Summertime, you need to take some special care to make sure that you're keeping it below 80 degrees.
Well, it depends where you live.
That's true.
Some part, like Seth might be having to deal with it now. I don't know.
He may be.
Yeah.
He may be. Yep. All right. Let's talk about this one, because this one's probably the most controversial. Although what did you say? The Lyme's disease, you're actually getting more traffic over than the thyroid, which treats thyroid, right?
Yeah. Lyme's in the last 5 years has become a major issue for widespread people. Typically the thyroid, or the thyroid dogs, if you will, a lot of them are certain bloodlines. The controversy about thyroid dogs is out there, and I'm not going to pick sides or whatever, but I do believe that some of the thyroid dogs are tick-borne issues. So I do suggest if you aren't 100% sure and you think you have do the Lyme treatment first, because sometimes that might take care of your issue with the thyroid.
And that is actually backed up by what Dr. Bronk McDaniel said on our podcast a couple months ago. A lot of times those thyroid issues that are popping up are because the dog's immune system has been compromised, so it throws the thyroid out of whack. You start getting this misbehavior, this unusual behavior in your dog. You run them into the vet, and they pull some blood, and it's like, man, check the thyroid. It's like, yeah, your thyroids are low. And they miss the fact that he's got another issue going on.
And there's a lot of thyroid symptoms, too, that might not be as prevalent in the hound. But, like, a lot of times if you have a obese person or obese horse or an obese dog, a lot of times that can come back to a thyroid issue, too. And that product's not just geared specifically towards houndsmen. We have a similar product for horses. And if you have that dog that doesn't matter what they do, they're always heavy, that's going to help lean them out and whatnot as well. So it's going to do more than just our thyroid dogs will. It will take care of a lot of autoimmune type problems.
This thyroid, or is that
but I'll let
thyroid?
Yeah, but I'll let Leanne get into the nuts and the bolts.
What does this do?
Well, it has ingredients in there to stimulate the thyroid, to help that. And I would say 80 or more % of the thyroid issues are low or underactive. There is a small percentage that are overactive, but the majority that we run into are under. So we're trying to stimulate that thyroid to become more active. And then there's also an element in the product that is for blood sugar balance as well, because there's scientific proof between the connection between the thyroid and the pancreas. So as the thyroid slows down, the digestion slows down, the amount of insulin that's being released into the body slows down, but the diet doesn't necessarily change. So the amount of insulin that's needed is actually more than what's being released, because the thyroid is kind of the master regulator of the body. So there's elements in there for blood sugar as well. And then there's elements in there for liver support also. So there's kind of and there isn't anything specifically in there for the adrenals, but it basically is like a 4-pronged stool. Once the thyroid starts to weaken, the pancreas starts to weaken, the liver starts to become stressed, and the adrenals as well. So we see that the adrenals are improved by improving all the other 3. So it's not just specifically for thyroid health. It's coming in with a broad, range of benefits.
When would a person want to invest in, the thyroid? When's the right time for that? How, what symptoms have I seen in my dog, or I've got a dog that's tested for hypothyroidism, and then I would put it on there, or just like off the shelf. Or you said something about running dogs through.
Well, there's some people that know they have a thyroid dog.
Okay.
There's certain lines of
Some
dogs
people aren't looking for an excuse.
Correct.
Okay, and they've actually got a legitimate problem.
Exactly
okay,
right.
I got you.
Not everybody's willing to admit their dogs aren't worth a darn like you.
Yeah, that's right.
But for that guy that just all of a sudden noticed that his dog isn't performing as well as it was last week, and he went and he did a snap test, and the thyroid the numbers were off. My suggestion there is make sure that you're getting it tested for Lyme or Ehrlichia first before you decide. Because if you just do the thyroid test without the others, you might be treating the symptom and not the cause. Whereas if you know that the cause is the thyroid, that's whenever you would use the thyroid.
But one thing about the thyroid and what we have learned over time is it improves a lot of different things. Like, make sure you don't have an infection or whatever if you want to do that snap test. But it will always improve your dog. Like adrenals do, liver and pancreas, stamina makes a huge difference in that. Like balancing out that blood sugar and balancing out that system and making it not have to work as hard, you will always get more stamina, more go, and more happy out of your dog. So you can make a good dog better with it. And this is something that...
And that is a product, too, that we have for humans, for those that are
I was trying to see if I could
diabetic
get stick this one in my computer or my recording bag over there. I need all the help I can get. Do you say there is a human side for this too?
It is.
No. Go ahead, Leanne.
Yes, it's called ThyFit, and that product we tested for the thyroid. We tested on the horses and dogs for about a year. The people version took 2 years because we don't live on rations.
Right.
So it's been a little bit more challenging. But yes, for balancing, thyroid.
So my son's hypothyroid. And could he start using this product while he is on his current thyroid medicine, or would he need to come off of that?
We have had people work with their doctors to get off of their meds. So over the last 2 years, we've tested with a lot of people. And we have had people get off of medication. The one lady was on it for 12 years, and she was able to get off. It took her about 6 months of working with her doctor, but she was able to get off of it.
Okay. That's totally sidetracking, but since it affected me directly.
Well, and trust me, I've been waiting on Cass to come back in, and I've been around the world a little bit to notice that not everybody that is in the hunting dog world is physically fit as Chris Powell is.
Right.
I mean, some of us carry a little bit around the midsection.
But
Yeah.
one of the most exciting things about this is for the over and under active. Like it balances out that like the whole system, and that's one thing you'll learn with the Elite Nutrition as you travel or journey with us is balance. Balance is still our key, and
it's not a lifetime product. Ultimately, you should be able to get off of the product,
Right.
Because it's going to heal your thyroid.
Yeah. So
it's not
and
artificially stimulating.
we have people that have lost weight with the product, even, the People product, in the first 4 weeks. But then we have people that have been on it 3 to 4 months and haven't lost a lot of weight. But people, like I said, we're not on a ration. So it's going to take time to bring one person's body into balance is going to take longer than others.
Right.
So we're not marketing it as a weight loss product because it's not giving
That would
everybody
sound
the same.
infomercial-esque.
Exactly right. Yeah.
It's not giving everybody the same results because everybody has went a different journey, and their body is, went through different experiences and traumas and things.
Sure.
So.
That's interesting.
But I mean, that is to me a big point in the fact that how many dogs out there have been on thyroid medication for almost their entire lives.
Yeah, some of them are continuing.
And how long is the treatment on that, Leanne?
For the dogs,
dog side?
I would say I would probably want them on it for 3 months. But
then
with
they could
the
potentially
horses,
be off of it for the rest of their lives.
Right. Yeah. And you have to kind of see, well, what caused that to be, weak in the first place? Was it, inactivity? Was it, there's many different things that can cause it to be weak.
I don't know.
Static.
I don't know. Anyway,
what started us down the journey of the thyroid
Yeah.
was there's actually a medication for horses called Thyroid L that's now more prescription. Adam can talk about that a little bit more because he knows more about the medications, but he knew that would be coming under that umbrella of products that you would have to get a script for. And so 2 years ago he came to me and said, we are going to need a thyroid product and we need to start working on it right now.
But the biggest thing that I see in over the years, and this is dog, human, and horse, is all thyroid medication has a lot of side effects. It's an artificial stimulant of your thyroid. It's not helping the thyroid heal itself. So there's a lot of side effects across broad spectrum of the thyroid medication, and that's what I wanted to get away from the most.
yeah. I'll tell you what, we've been running over, I think we ought to wrap it up. I just would mention there's a lot of other products here on the table, and we're going to have to get back together. And
I mean,
talk
we
about
have a
those.
lot of stuff for wound care. If you are breeding,
Yep.
like breeding your pups, I mean, we got a whole program for breeding dogs. And the other thing that I'm excited about is hopefully by the Grand American, we're going to be rolling out some new electrolyte energy boost type products that are going to be available to the Houndsman as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And a pad protector. That's one thing that I know my coyote guys that run in the snow, they're always complaining about paws getting torn up.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man, we need to get back together and talk about all of it. But we've got human side, we've got the equine side, and we've got the canine side. There's like 7 podcasts we could do right off the top of my head on all that stuff. And a lot of our Western hunters and stuff are heavily dependent on their horses and their mules and things
There was
like
nothing
that.
that would make Adam happier than you doing a podcast on Houndsman XP about horses and mules.
We've done a few conversations about pack animals and taking care of your mounts and
We need to get him to go out to,
like that.
what was that, the horses, mules, and hounds auction out there
horses,
in New
hounds,
Mexico?
and mules.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
It was an auction out. Was it New Mexico or Arizona?
New Mexico.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm
be back
all
out
in.
there.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll let you know for sure. But I appreciate your time. Tell people where they can find Elite products.
Well, depending on when this podcast drops, and I'm not sure about that, but our website is tryelitenutrition.com. It is brand new. As of right now, the dealer locator is not up and running, but potentially by the time this podcast would drop, it will be. If you go on to there, it will tell you the closest bricks and mortar dealer to you. And if you happen to be 50 miles or further away from one of those, it will give you the dealers of ours that do sell online. We are very much don't want to cut the throat of our dealers. Our dealers become free salespeople for us.
So
we will never sell online.
I got you.
But many of our dealers do, and we'll be able to direct you to those online retailers.
Yeah.
If for some reason this podcast drops before that's done, you can go to straightlinepetsupplies.com. You can go to thriveessential.com and the Elite
Global.
Shop Elite Global.
shopeliteglobal.com are three of the ones right now that you can go online and get pretty much all of our products.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, folks, you can find all that products at all the places Chip just talked about. It's tryelitenutrition.com, and that dealer locator will be up and working real soon.
And if you guys have questions, you can Facebook message me, call me. I mean, most people have access to how to get hold of me in the world.
Yep.
And I can tell you I don't know and call Leanne.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Houndsman XP podcast. We'll wrap it up there. Make sure that you're supporting companies that support you. Check out our website. Support your fellow houndsmen. We've got the Joiner Die collection over there, and that's all going to fight animal extremism in Colorado and combat Initiative 91 right now. And all the profits from that thing are going to Coloradans for responsible wildlife management to help preserve science-based wildlife management and ethical hunting in the state of Colorado. You can check that out at houndsmanxp.com.